I've been debating whether to post this, but I feel like I'm losing my mind and need to get this out there. This happened over the span of more than a decade, and I still haven't processed everything. It's a wild ride involving betrayal, success, legal drama, and more betrayal. So buckle up. I, now 28M, am a twin. My brother, let's call him Arvin, and I were always compared growing up. We look the same, but that's where the similarities end. I was the quiet kid with glasses, who liked computers and spent weekends learning how to code. Arvin? He was the popular, charming guy, good at sports, had all the friends, and never once studied for anything. Our parents adored Arvin. He could do no wrong in their eyes. Me? I was convenient when they needed help, invisible when they didn't. Even as a kid, I noticed the imbalance. Arvin would get praised for the smallest things. He cleaned his room, while my achievements, like building a website at 12, were brushed off. That's nice. Can you help your brother with his homework? Now still I loved them. I thought maybe if I worked hard enough, they'd be proud of me too. The year we turned 17, we had to take entrance exams for university. I had been prepping for months. I had a spreadsheet of study hours, apps I coded myself to track progress, and a whole planner filled with practice test scores. Arvin, on the other hand, barely opened a book. 2 weeks before the exam, our parents sat me down for a family talk. Mom, Arvin's been stressed lately. We think he needs some help. Dad, it would mean a lot to the family if you sat the test for him. I actually laughed because I thought they were joking, but they weren't. They wanted me to impersonate Arvin, use his ID, we're identical twins after all, and take his university entrance exam for him. I refused, flat out. That's illegal. I'm not risking my future so Arvin can coast again. And that was it. I was out. They yelled, called me ungrateful, said I was tearing the family apart over something small. Arvin didn't say a word, just sat there, avoiding my eyes. 2 days later, I came home from school and found my stuff packed in boxes. My laptop, some clothes, and a few personal items. Everything else? You didn't pay for it, it's ours. I was kicked out, at 17, for refusing to cheat. I crashed on my friend Daniel's couch. His parents were saints. They let me stay, fed me, and never once made me feel like a burden. I graduated high school with top scores and got a scholarship to a state university in software engineering. I worked part-time in tech support, freelanced on the side, and lived frugally. During my sophomore year, I built an app called SyncGrade, a tool that helped students organize their study materials and auto-synced with lecture notes using OCR. It blew up in my university and then spread to others. Within a year, I got small angel investment offers. I formed a startup with 2 friends and called it NeuroGrid. I'm now 28. NeuroGrid is worth $480 million. I own a majority stake, 51%. We've expanded into AI learning tools, educational licensing, and productivity apps. I live comfortably. I don't flash wealth, but I've got a penthouse condo, a few nice suits, and a Tesla. More importantly, I employ over 200 people, many of whom come from underprivileged backgrounds like mine. I never heard from my family. Not once. Not a birthday.
Call.
Not a single congrats on LinkedIn or email until 6 months ago. It started with an email from an unfamiliar address. Hey Arian, it's your dad. We're so proud of what you've built. We'd love to reconnect. I didn't reply. Then came another email, this time from Arvin. Bro, long time no see. I've been following NeuroGrid. Super impressive. We should grab lunch sometime. I ignored that too. Then they showed up. Yes. They showed up at my office. My receptionist called and said there was a family emergency. When I stepped into the lobby, I saw my parents and Arvin standing there like it was a surprise birthday party. They hugged me, took selfies, told the staff how proud they were. Then came the real reason. Dad, we wanted to talk about opportunities. Your company is growing fast, and we think it's time we all became a family business. I stared blankly. What? Mom, we're your parents. Family sticks together. We think Arvin would be a great vice president. He's been working in real estate, and he's very charismatic. You know, a people person. I kid you not. Arvin just nodded and smirked like he was accepting a job offer. I kept my cool and told them I'd think about it. I wasn't about to cause a scene in front of employees. Later that night, I sent a polite email. I appreciate you reaching out, but I'm not in a position to hire family or give away company shares. Neurogrid was built independently, and I prefer to keep it that way. They didn't respond until 2 weeks later. My uncle, who I hadn't spoken to in 10 years, called me out of the blue. Your mom's been crying every night. You're tearing the family apart. Again. Then my cousin messaged me. Just give them a small stake, dude. They're your parents. Old family friends started sending vague posts on Facebook about sons who forget where they come from. I held firm. I refused again and again, so they escalated. Articles started popping up on social media, local gossip blogs, anonymous sources accusing me of abandoning my family, stealing ideas from my brother, and being a heartless tech bro. One blog claimed Arvin came up with the Neurogrid name and I stole it while he was in the hospital. He wasn't. I hired a PR firm to handle it. We released a short statement and provided evidence that I'd been estranged from my family since I was 17, along with early dated code repositories, domain registrations, and investor emails. But my family wasn't done. When the smear campaign didn't work, they filed a civil suit claiming I owed them equity because they supported my education and business, which was BS. I had scholarships, student loans, and side gigs. I had receipts, so I countersued for defamation and emotional damages. I compiled everything. The eviction at 17, the cheating request, texts and emails from back then recorded voicemails, and emails from the recent blackmail attempt screenshots of their social media lies. It took 11 months, but I won. The judge called their case frivolous and malicious. They were ordered to pay damages. They appealed. They lost again. Then they disappeared. I was walking downtown when I saw a disheveled man begging near the subway. It took me a second, but it was Arvin. He was gaunt, dirty, wearing mismatched clothes. I kept walking. That night, guilt kicked in. So I looked them up. Turns out, after losing the lawsuits, they couldn't pay legal fees. They defaulted on loans. The house was seized. My dad's business, which was already failing, collapsed. They were homeless. I called a private social. Worker I trusted. I had a quiet conversation, told them to help my family, without mentioning my name. I paid for a 2-bedroom apartment in a modest area, basic groceries for a year, counseling services, job placement assistance. I set conditions. No contact. No entitlement. No coming after me again. They accepted. Read it. I don't know if I did the right thing. They kicked me out when I was a teen, tried to destroy me when I succeeded. But they're still my family. I didn't help them out of love. I helped them because I remember what it felt like to be alone and desperate. I won't forgive them. I won't invite them to my life. But I refuse to become like them.